What is 4 wheels, a V10, and goes 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds? Here's a hint. It's not a Gallardo. It's actually an almost 20-year-old motorcycle. But what company would make this kind of psychopath of a crotch rocket? What kind of person thought it'd be a good idea to throw a high horsepower engine into a frame that weighs less than a ton? And most of all, why does it look like the drones from that bad 2009 Terminator movie? These questions and a whole lot more will be answered right after this. Back in the early 2000s, 2 low-level Chrysler employees got an idea so crazy, so completely insane, that they had to see it through. Their names were Bob Schroeder, an avid motorcyclist, and David Chise, a build specialist and drag racer. Seeing the Dodge Viper's shiny V10, the two got together and asked a question only madmen would ask. What if this giant engine powered a motorcycle? Now, car engines on motorcycles are nothing new, as the aftermarket and hot rod community has been shoving old Chevy small blocks on a motorcycle chassis since the 50s. While it wasn't the most common modification, it certainly wasn't unheard of. In fact, both Schroeder and Chise say their idea comes from the brand Boss Haus, a company that specializes in throwing hot rod motors onto bikes. So these two guys put together a slideshow and presented it to then Senior Vice President of Design Trevor Creed. While he initially shot them down, saying, "We don't make bikes," Trevor Creed also really wanted to see if they could get it done. So, after finally mulling it over, he allowed them to get some design sketches completed. When he saw what they'd created, Creed was blown away and put 2 shoes on the train to Motorcycle Town. They then took their sketches to Freeman Thomas, the Chrysler Vice President of Advanced Design, who then assigned Mark Walters to control the design aspect of it. By spring of 2002, a full concept drawing was created and shown to Chrysler COO Wolfgang Bernard and CEO Dieter Zesch? I don't know how to pronounce that name. And they were both like, "Oh my gosh, it's so super sick, we should totally make it." And make it they did. After months of engineering and designing and changing and planning, Dodge put out this. It weighs 1,500 pounds and is powered by a Dodge Viper V10, making 500 horsepower. While the number itself may not be incredibly impressive, keep in mind that this vehicle weighs almost 2,000 pounds less than your average sports car, while making the same amount of power. This power to weight combination gives the bike a 2.5 second 0 to 60 time. Its top speed is even more impressive, mostly because of the fact that nobody knows what it is. Yeah, that's right, this thing goes so fast that nobody knows what its top speed could possibly be. Now, Dodge being the company that wants their products to be the best, they have made some claims, and yes, some of these claims might be a little overboard. Dodge claims that the bike can hit speeds of more than 300... Wait, hang on. Holy shit. Dodge has made the claim that the bike can hit speeds of more than 300 miles per hour, even at one time stating that it may even go up to 420 miles per hour. These are just claims, as nobody has been man enough to actually push the bike to its limit. Okay, let's pause the dramatics. That is super cool. Now, the first thing that most people notice about the Tomahawk is its futuristic design. You take one look at the shining aluminum and all you can think is... future! But believe it or not, all this aluminum has a purpose. While it looks like it's superfluously covered in edgy angles at a glance, if you look closer, you realize this bike is basically a motor with a seat. Below the rider is a seat that looks like it came right out of the steampunk version of Tron. But it was only made this way so the rider could comfortably lay on top of the engine, as opposed to sitting and straddling the super hot V10 right beneath them. Yeah, no, Dodge made a light bike, and that is sick. All 4 wheels also have an independent suspension system, a crucial design for a motorcycle so the rider can still lean into turns. Now, this bike is unlike any other bike I've personally ever seen. You know, yeah, it's got the basic bike setup, but that's about where the similarities end. And don't even get me started on what that motor sounds like. That is a beastly sounding motor. I can't get over how it sounds. That's not a bike at all.
That's not surprising considering it's fueled by the same engine as the Dodge Viper.
However, as all good things are, this bike was subjected heavily to criticism, particularly by journalists and the motorcycle community. In fact, Auto Week itself stated that anybody riding this thing would be a candidate for the Darwin Award. Which, you know, depending on how you look at it, that could also be a compliment. Either they're saying it's probably going to turn like garbage, or it's so powerful that nobody has any business riding it, and I'm going to hope on the right one. Many also criticize the fact that a V10 with a 4-gallon tank would be practically useless for long trips, as this thing had a top distance of, well, 50 miles, because it's a V10. However, all of these critiques pale in comparison when it comes to how people call Dodge out for the ludicrous top speed of 420 miles per hour.
No, light speed is too slow. Light speed too slow? Yes, we're gonna have to go right to ludicrous speed.
Glenn Kerr, a seasoned motorcycle designer, stated that, while it had the horsepower to do so, the horrible aerodynamics of the bike would likely limit the top speed to around 250 miles per hour. Which, while still very, very impressive and way faster than anyone should be going on a bike, in my personal opinion, still falls incredibly short of Dodge's huge number claim. He also kind of talked about how the fact that he believes it illustrates that the automotive industry considers motorcycles a lesser form of its own discipline, and so feel entirely qualified to redesign one whenever they run out of ideas for sports cars. I think that must have hurt the designers a little bit right there. Not everyone was so critical, however, as another journalist by the name of Alan Mudd claims that it was never meant to be the best all-around motorcycle. Even though, yes, it did make some crazy claims, the bike showed the people at Chrysler are passionate about what they do, and crazy enough to make their ideas a reality, even if it means stepping so far out of their comfort zone, a sentiment shared by a lot of people. Believe it or not, the Dodge Tomahawk did have an official release, though only 9 were made and sold. And they were also not street legal, as something weird with the laws. So, like, technically it had 4 wheels, so that put it in the category of a car, and obviously that thing's not passing crash tests. So it was not street legal, but also for dumb reasons. Dodge put it out as a rolling sculpture, something that you weren't meant to drive on the street, but they never said that you couldn't drive it on the track. Is it drive for bikes? I don't know, I'm a car guy. Ride on the track, I don't know. Granted, I think anybody that bought this wouldn't be taken to the track anytime soon, as it is a $200,000 bike. However, China did what China does, and they made their own small little replicas. Replicas? What am I talking about, leprechauns? No. Replicas, I mean replicas. And yes, you actually can still buy them today. Taken from Motor Authority, the Mini Tomahawk, which is a rideable bike about half the size of the original, does not have a Viper V10. It's powered by a 150cc single-cylinder 4-stroke engine capable of revving to 8,000 RPM, according to the listing. Now, this bike actually does still have 4 wheels, much like the Dodge Tomahawk, with all the wheels placed super close together so you can still ride it like a conventional motorcycle. You know, if you want to buy one today, you can. They're like around $4,500. That's not too bad for a bike. Yeah, if you want to, go right ahead. They actually don't look half bad. They just don't look like the V10 one, that's for sure. Now, with all the controversy surrounding it, I can say, in my opinion, that I think the Dodge Tomahawk is a really cool looking bike. And I feel Dodge made this bike in such a way that a ton of people can enjoy it from all walks of life. Regardless of what you think of its looks and how useful it'd be as a day-to-day crotch rocket, there's no denying that the people at Dodge had some serious guts to create a V10 powered motorcycle, and they deserve all the respect for doing so. And yes, if I saw one, even though I'd never ridden a motorcycle in my life, you would not be able to stop me from trying to ride that thing down the freeway. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys giving me the time of day. If you guys want to support me, you can like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I like to talk about a bunch of weird vehicles like this. I have a Discord link down below that you can check out. You know, it's always a fun time. We actually have a lot of fun over there just talking about absolutely nothing useful. If you want to help a brother out, or you just want some goodies, then I have a Patreon link down below. You know, you don't have to, but I would recommend checking it out. Even $1 makes a huge difference for me. Thank you guys again for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great day. Peace.